Jackie hits that ball.
When he swung his bat, the crowd went wild because he knocked that ball a solid mile. Yeah, boy.
Yes, yes, Jackie hits that ball.
Baseball has the moniker the American pastime. The sport has been around longer than any of the other three major sports, as it came on the scene in the early to mid 1840s in New York City. About 100 years later, on April 15, 1947, Jackie Robinson integrated the sport and became the first black ball player to play in Major League Baseball. After Jackie opened the gates, a number of black ball players followed, many of whom had great achievements and impacted the game greatly. By the 1960s, every Major League team had at least one black ball player, and there were many stars among them. By the 1970s, the percentage of African American ball players reached its peak at 27% in 1975. The 1980s saw African American ball players continue to flourish, and it did not stop in the 1990s. The 90s saw ball players like Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, Frank Thomas, Mo Vaughn, Terry Pendleton, and Rickey Henderson win Most Valuable Player awards. Ken Griffey Jr. won the American League MVP in 1997. Since 2007, the percentage of African American ball players in Major League Baseball has declined to 8%, the lowest it has been since right before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. Today, the percentage of African American ball players is still at 8%. First, we're going to hear from some former black American ball players and current ball players on their respect for Jackie Robinson and what he means to them and to the game of baseball. This is Hall of Famer Joe Morgan, who played the same position as Jackie.
I was a Jackie Robinson fan, and my two idols were Jackie Robinson and Nellie Fox. They both played second base, and they both played the game the way it was supposed to be played, and I wanted to grow up and play like them. Nellie, what Jackie Robinson really meant was he gave me and all the young kids a chance to dream about playing the major leagues. Before he was there, it wasn't a dream that you could think about. And it doesn't matter whether you realize that dream or not. It gave you something to dream about. There were a lot of guys who didn't make it like I did, but by the same token, he still helped them because it helped them, to think about it, gave them a direction, and it taught them some responsibility to try to get there. So Jackie was very, very important, but we always seem to look at it from the African American side. Jackie was important for baseball. He was important for America. And I think the last year, especially with our game we did this year, I think people really are now more aware of who he was rather than just a baseball player and a guy that broke the color barrier. There was more to him than that. He was an exceptional person. He was, always helped everybody, not just African Americans. He was willing to help everybody, so he was a very special person.
This is Torrey Hunter's thoughts on the fact that only 8% of Major League Baseball players are African American.
Actually, it's less than 8%. It's like 7.3, and I hate that. I hate that. It's a decline. Jackie Robinson, he should be turning over in his grave right now, and it's just tough to see that. After all he went through, and now there's a decline. And it goes back. It's so many reasons. No, you can't point a finger at one reason. It's so many reasons, and mainly the reason is us, man. Our heritage. We forgot our heritage. We forgot that there was a Negro League. We forgot that there was 40,000 people at those games, and they were all black African Americans, and at the games, and they were having fun, celebrating, watching Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, and Larry Doby, all those guys play. And we forgot about that. That was the first game that we were able to play that we had of our own Negro Leagues, and it somehow it's died out and it was forgotten about. And you go and ask any parent in the home today, they barely know about the Negro Leagues or anybody that played in the Negro League. And by the parents not knowing, the kids wouldn't know because they have nobody to teach them.
This right here is Philadelphia Phillies shortstop Jimmy Rollins.
Well, the first thing you do when you go to a team is you look at the other team, and as a black person, you're trying to find other brothers on the squad, and you'll be surprised how you go some places and there are no brothers. I mean, there's some brown skin out there, but they speak Spanish, and I love them the same way. You know, I love the Caucasian players the same way, but you still want to know who's on that team that's a brother, because that's who you identify with. The struggles that you go through as a black player in this game, you know they're going through. And yet it's a different organization. You still have the same answers. He asking you the same questions because you want to know. And it's kind of sad when you go somewhere and there are no brothers on the team. It's like, well, I know they got to have some in the minor leagues. I know one or two has to be ready to be in the big leagues, but unfortunately that's the way the game is right now.
Former 12-year major leaguer and current Cincinnati Reds first base coach Billy Hatcher does not agree with the notion that African-American kids are not interested in this sport.
I'm not going to say I don't think it's that blacks don't really want to play baseball. I just think they're finding other things that interest them even more. I mean, you think about it. How much time you really have to spend in baseball? I think you cannot put your finger on one problem, because you have a lot of black kids that want to play baseball and they don't have the finances to play baseball. But that's not the main, that's not the only reason. You have a lot of reasons. You have a lot of our black kids. I mean, we have to be responsible for some of it also, in terms of where the fathers at, out there playing catch with their kids and all that. You can't expect somebody else to introduce baseball to your kid. That's why we need more of our black fathers spending more time with the kids. Some of them are. I mean, it's very hard living in this society right now. You know, I was very, very blessed. I was very, very blessed. I had older brothers and sisters. I got to play in the big leagues 12 years. I have 2 kids. Both my kids had an opportunity to play with whatever they want. I had time to spend with them to teach them. It's a lot of families, they don't have time to try and go out with their kids and play ball with them, because here you are, you got the mother and father working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. I mean, you're working 12, 14 hours a day. What time does that leave for you to spend time with your kids? So, you know, we have to do something. We have to find a way to where we can get our black fathers, our black parents to spend more time.
New York Yankees all-star center fielder Curtis Granderson says his parents played a big part in him reaching success in baseball.
I think it's very important. I was very blessed to have both my parents and still be together even now as I speak to you today. But even without that, older brothers, older siblings, older relatives that can go ahead and teach that importance. Now, again, it's got to be something that they want. You know, you can't take an older brother or an uncle who never played the game or doesn't like the game of baseball and try to teach someone how to play it. So it's got to be the people that do like it to try to spread the word down to the youth.
When you were coming up as a kid, how many of your other African-American peers were interested in baseball?
You know, it started out pretty good. I'd say on every team I played with, there was about 3 or 4 of us in Little League, you know, 3 to 4 out of a team of 12 or 14 guys. We'd have 1 or 2 African-American coaches, 1 or 2 umpires. And then as we got older into high school and started having other interests, basketball, football, track, different clubs, different groups, different cliques at high school, the number dwindled really quickly. Throughout my entire high school, there was only one, and that was myself. I played on an all-star team with another kid at one point in time. At college, there was one other kid with me for the first 2 years of college. And then after that, once I got to pro ball, I got very diverse, but not necessarily African-American, Latin players, Asian players, Australian players. But from the age of 6 through high school, the most I'd had at one point in time was 4, and that was early on until other influences came in. That number dropped really quick.
Right. So why do you think that, you know, so many of our young African-American kids really don't seem to be interested in baseball?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that kids are interested in. There are other sports that are, you know, I can't knock a kid for being involved in another sport because I played basketball, I bowled, I ran track, I ran cross country, played flag football. So I think it's very good to be diverse in all the different sports. They all can help you out. I think kids have more interest now. Extreme sports are good. Ultimate fighting is popular. And then the virtual technology, from internet to texting to the computer, I think has taken over a lot of kids' time. Then the aspect of the game of baseball, a lot of kids' lack of knowledge of the game puts the notion that the game is boring, that it's slow, that it's not fun, that players don't make that money. And the realization is just wrong just because of they don't see it enough. I think those are some of the big reasons why it kind of you get more African American kids doing other things besides baseball.
So with you are very athletic, and so you could have played, a number of different sports. So yes, like when you hit high school, I guess, and all that, what kept you on track and focus on not leaving baseball and continuing to play baseball?
Well, it was very difficult. A lot of my friends were trying to push me to leave baseball. Say, why are you playing that sport? It's boring. It's cold outside. Being from Chicago, playing in the months of March and April, where it's possibly some snow flurries and and 30-degree temperatures. I thought about it a couple times, but I did enjoy playing the game. It was still fun to me. That's part of the reason why I kept doing it. I did feel that I thought I was a better basketball player, and I enjoyed basketball more. But it took me to my sophomore year of college to realize I was a better baseball player than I was a basketball player.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening. I am Samori Benjamin, and that's sports.
Satchel Paige is mellow, so is Campanella, Newcomb and Dovey too. But it's a natural fact when Jackie comes to bat, the other team is through. Boy,
Hey, Jackie Robinson hit that ball. Did he hit it? Boy, and that ain't all. It's no home.
yes, Jack is real gone.